Here we go, down in the Villages, Florida. We're going to take a look at my actual utility bill. We're going to look at how to find clubs down here in the Villages, battery charges over anonymous code violation reporting, and a little bit on home tours, goofy questions, a little bit more. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Rusty Nelson down here in the Villages, Florida. Today we're going to do questions and answers and comments and all kinds of stuff. And I love doing this because I just get to go off wherever I want to, off in the weeds someplace. We're going to hit a whole bunch of stuff today, and I want to thank you a lot for joining. You guys have been wonderful about putting the comments in. I try to answer them all. Even if you just say hi, tell me where you're coming from, it really helps out the channel a lot and gets the message out there. So I much appreciate it. And I'm glad you guys like the home tours. It's kind of something I started doing with these folks right after they got their house closed. I run out and do it. I've got about 10 more scheduled over the next couple of months. So that's really a lot of fun. And you know, the thing is, for people that want to do them, because people say, how do I do it? I'm telling you, just go on to the comments and put a comment down. I will see it. Or you can go to my Facebook page. I will put the probably about the second or third line down. Just go ahead and send me a message on my Facebook. Even if we're not friends, I will get to see it and I'll probably friend you, and then we can discuss it further. And don't worry about it that if somebody's already done your model, because a lot of the people want to hear, you know, your story, because it really helps them out trying to figure out whether they want to do it, whether they want to come down here. And so far, everybody that's been on there, everybody keeps going, oh man, they're such nice people, you know, and who knows, they may be your neighbor soon. Anyway, thanks a lot for subscribing. I really appreciate you just taking that second. I'm getting close to 30,000. I really want to hit that mark pretty soon. Kind of like, just, I don't know, it was a personal goal of mine to hit it. And I took almost a year and a half off, not doing any of these things. So we're starting to pick it back up again. Anyway, let's get started on a whole bunch of these things. Hey, let's get to it. You guys hear me talk a lot about clubs and stuff like that. And there's over 3,000 clubs and that type of thing. And, you know, even when people get down here, they're not 100% sure where to find things. So I'm going to show you two ways to find them. One is a list. I'm going to put QR codes up there, and I'll put the links down below. But let me change this over right quick. And if we go on to the web page for the Villages, you can see this is great. I'm telling you what, use this, thevillages.com as much as you can. This is under recreation/clubs. And you can just see, for those of you that don't belong here, or don't live here yet, there are just tons and tons of clubs. Now, each one of these, as you click on these, there are lists under each one of these. So these are just the subject areas. And then on top of that, now that was the QR code for that, if you want to go straight to that. There is also a list on here, and I'm just going to run through these. You know, you're not going to be able to read them, but you can see there are all the contacts and that type of stuff, and it just goes on and on and on and on. And all these clubs are, you know, run by the residents. So, you know, they'll have contact numbers and stuff like that where you can call these people. Anyway, that's about it. So there's two ways and two QR codes. I'll put the links down below. Hopefully that helps you out with some of those. And you can look and see whether there's kind of clubs in what you're thinking. On to the next subject here. Get asked a lot of question about billing and that, how are you billed for this? How are you billed for that? Now I have my stuff as far as my water usage, my amenity fee, and all that type of thing is all e-billed, so they just take it out of my account each period. And I get asked a lot about, well, how much is this? How much? I'm just going to show you my account, and obviously some of the things are blanked out, but check this out, and I'll enlarge it so you can see the top part is nothing more than your address, that type of thing, and where to pay your bill if you're going to pay by mail. which is no problem. Now, the second part of it shows you meter consumption, one for irrigation, one for water. And you can see my previous statement bill, how much that was, $355. And then this bill, which is $336. And you can see my water usage right there, how much that is for the water use, and my water base. Sanitation collection, you can see how much that is. My amenity fee, $204, and that is for the month of July. And then you get to irrigation use and the base, that's for that water. Those are my water bills for the month of July. And we got sewer and the sewer use and the base and how much my sewer is used. So my total bill for this period came up to, what does that say, $336. And then you can look on the left-hand side of the bill and you can see water usage compared to last year. Now, obviously, last year in June, I'm not sure what I was doing, but I sure was using a lot of irrigation water. Anyway, that's it. That's pretty much what your billing is going to look like. You can compare that to yours currently. We have been under a restriction for water, so I have mine hooked up to a automatic Wi-Fi type of thing, and I've gone through that on various videos. So you've seen those. You know how I'm hooked up to that to save water, but I only water once a week for about 20 minutes or so. That's it, and my grass is nice and green. Anyway, there you go. Utility bill. On to the next section. Here we go. These are the ones I love that just kind of make me chuckle in a lot of ways. For those of you that have been watching my channel for a while, you know that one of my bugaboos is this whole ordeal about some of these areas, districts, changing how they write up code violations. Now, for those that don't live here, I'll make this really quick. The system works off the fact that folks in your neighborhood, if they see something that's not right, they can write it up anonymously and submit it to the board. They can review it, and if there is something wrong with it, they will have the person change it. Not a big deal, right? It's anonymous. Now, in their infinite wisdom, and I have yet to know the reason, except for self-serving for the board, not the people in the neighborhood, is that they've decided to make it not anonymous. And by doing that, I've always said this is going to restrict people just mentally from making a code violation report, you know, because they don't want to have problems with their neighbors and stuff like that. And unbelievably, some people say, oh, well, there'll never be any problems. Well, yes, there will be problems because I think I used once the old lady coming up to the 300-pound muscle man guy that answers the door and fills the whole door and says, you got to stop, you know, doing whatever you're doing, you know, that type of thing. Well, anyway, over the last couple of weeks, I've had 2 people send me reports and stuff, and that's just people sending it to me. So I'm going to read this one. Here goes. And this is out of the Daily Sun just a little while ago. A village of Hawkins residents, 73, was accused of battery Friday after allegedly spraying her neighbors with a hose outside of her Turner Tourist home. The neighbors told Wildwood police officers that they were taking photos of her to document code violations around 10:30 a.m. I'm not sure what the code violations are, and I don't know why you have to be taking them right when she's standing right there. You know, there's parts of the story we don't know, but still a fact, the story comes to surface according to the report. They allege they never went on to her property and captured video of the woman spraying water at them. So, obviously, yeah. The woman denied intentionally spraying water at them and alleged she was only watering her outdoor plants. I guess her plants were in the road. The report noted there was a history of alleged retaliatory actions between the woman and one of her neighbors. She faces a pending charge of battery and was released later Friday on a $1,000 bond. Now, I don't know the backside of this story, and I know a lot of you say, well, just go up to the neighbor and say, not all neighbors are understanding. And there's a lot of neighbors around here that just do things in their yard, either through negligence or, you know what? I don't care what my neighbors think. I'm doing it anyway. They probably moved into the wrong neighborhood. But anyway, District 13 is now not anonymous as of last year. I never heard of it. A lot of people wrote to me and said they never heard of anything like that. And I have yet really anybody to tell me, and how long has this been going on, what possibly that benefits the people in the neighborhood to not have it anonymous. I understand you just want to hear who reported whatever actions you were violating, that you want to hear it, but it really doesn't make any difference. And the idea of, well, I should know who's accusing me. Nobody's accusing you of anything. The one that's going to do the accusing is the board. They get the note from the person, the people on the board look at it and they send somebody out if it looks like it's a violation. And then they are the ones that report you, fine you, and do whatever needs to be done. Anyway, that's it. It's coming. I'm telling you. And if it does, I think the board's responsible for doing that. And I truly believe that there's a way we can solve this problem where you can do it anonymously and just take care of it, just get it done instead of just saying, it's kind of like the border thing. Like saying, let's just open up the border and let everybody across, so we don't have to worry about it. No, fix it. Fix the problem. Figure out a way. Anyway, that's that. On to the next one. Here we go. This is one that I've repeated and I tried to explain to people, so I'm going to make this really quick. As many of you know, I've started doing these house tours. The people are so gracious here in the villages. They just get done signing papers. It's been a big day for them. And then they invite me and you guys into their home, like within an hour after they've done closing on their home, to kind of share their experience. I mean, it also makes a nice little video for them to be able to show their family and that type of thing. But I've been doing these now for a while and on this channel. So it's kind of become part of a thing for this channel. We each try to find our niches on the channels and kind of stick with them. But anyway, right after they buy the house, they come in and they explain it while it's fresh in their mind, and they're willing to give all this information on what upgrades are and that type of stuff. And let me read what Brian wrote, because I really appreciate Brian writing this. And Brian, I understand exactly what you're saying, but let me read this. Brian wrote, "Congratulations. It's not getting into your business, but when you make a video, the first thing people think of is, what is the price? It's real estate. People are curious. I get it. But here's the problem. One, the people that just bought their home, they may have a little bit of a quirk to not talk about the price of their home. And every single time I ask somebody, they kind of go like that. Now, what am I supposed to do? Not do the video because of that? No, I don't think so. They give a lot of information away. Now, recently, a lot of people, the video that I'm going to do next week that's coming out this Sunday, make sure you're subscribed. It's with Bob the Sod Man. And man, this is like his fifth house or something like that. I don't know. He has got a house decked out, man. Let me tell you what, I'm jealous. And we're going to get to see the whole thing. He's going to explain a lot of it, the costs and everything like that. He just wrote me a note and said, hey, here's the price of my home. So from now on, what I'm going to do, Brian, I'm going to ask people directly, can we talk about a price or a price range? Here's the other thing. When it's a pre-owned home, I'd really like to do more pre-owned homes. If there's some people out there, let me know. Generally, it's, before you move your furniture in and stuff like that. Contact me, like I said before, on the comments, or you can just Facebook message me, that type of thing. But, there's two parts to that transaction. When it's a pre-owned home, people that sold the home and the people that bought it, one of them may not want to talk about it, and we don't have any contact with the people that just sold the home. But also, I understand you can look up 30, 60 days from then and find it on the tax rolls. I get it. It's public knowledge. But those people don't want to talk about it. That's up to them. I'm not going to just not do the video and not share all the information. So I will ask Brian from now on. I will make it a point to, and we'll just do it that way. So thanks a lot for your comment. Like I said, if you want to do one of these, let me know. I love doing them and people love seeing them. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. We'll see whether it's a goofy one or not. When I get comments, I look at them, and a lot of times they don't quite make sense. From living here, in my experiences, I look at them, and if I feel they're not true, or they don't carry truth with them, or they're just hateful, or no matter which side you're on, if you're calling somebody else a name, or like those dumb whatever, I just don't put them on because there's not room for that on this channel. And people make a lot of comments about the villages where I go, it just doesn't seem real. I mean, I've lived here for 5 years. I've seen a lot since I've been here, but a lot of people write twice, so they'll write in different spaces and stuff like that. So let me know what you guys think. Is this person really the whole thing? I'm going to read both comments were written both at the same time. I don't ever remember seeing other comments, but it says, my visit to the villages was full of Trump with a mix of disrespect for non-Trumpers. I was surprised, to say the least. Putting political content was on purpose. You are who you are. So that was like, so I guess they saw where I covered the Trump when the president was here, right? And I'll say it again for anybody that didn't see it. I never once said which side of the fence I'm on with that. I just said, hey, here's what happened. Check out all the people having a good time and stuff like that, and blah, 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 right? Then the person also wrote this. We looked hard at the villages because we love the concept. We didn't, though. I guess that means they didn't buy, though, because of the hateful politics that is so prevalent, not just in Florida, but amplified even more in the villages. I feel normal won't return before we are too old to move. Whoa, we're all going to die. Now, for those of you that live here in the villages, I'm out every weekend. I'm out circulating. I'm a really social person. People come up to me and talk to me all the time. For those of you that don't live here, politics don't even really come up. And I have friends that are on both sides of the fence, so to speak. And in a lot of ways. And I just don't hear it. I mean, you got 160,000 people here. And when people write something like this, and I'd like to know what you think without being mean. Remember, throw beach balls, not knives, over the fence, right? If you want people to really understand what's going on. You just don't see it here, folks. When you see these kind of things, it's kind of like the loofah, the STDs, and all that kind of stuff like that. It's just not true. It's not true. Anyway, on to one more that may or may not be true. I get a lot of, sometimes I wish I could put these bizarro comments that I get, because some of them I can't even put on here. Even YouTube hides them from me because they got foul language and stuff like that. And thank God I don't get too many of them. But Eddie Black writes, best of luck in your new HOA prison. And you can tell Eddie's got absolutely no idea what the village is about, because Eddie, we don't have HOAs here. We really don't. We got the CDD and that type of thing, and nope, just don't have it. But anyway, as I gather more that I can actually put on here, I'll put them up and we'll have fun with them. But anyway, let me know what you think of those other ones and comments on those other ones. I really appreciate it. But friends of mine, 10 of us went up to the WEC. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's up in Ocala. It's the World Equestrian Center. And usually my videos come out on Wednesday at 10:30 and Sunday at 10:30. But this is just, I just went up there and it'll be really short, probably 8-10 minutes at the most. Really amazing place. Here's one kind of funny picture from it. But as you can see, it's quite the amazing place. So make sure you subscribe for that. And next Sunday should be Bob, the sod father here in the Villages. His house, which I said he's got a lot of stuff and he put into this house. Really, really kind of a cool one. So make sure you're subscribed up for that one. I'll make sure that one goes out. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate your support with your comments and subscribing, kind of pushing me to get to that 30,000 mark. And I have a feeling that'll come here really soon. Anyway, thanks a lot. Have a great day. Don't forget also, as we start to get into prime hurricane season here, although I think it'll be down a little bit with El Nino, be subscribed, because if there's some good stuff, I'll give you a heads up on that, only if it affects this area. And probably go out on the road and do a little storm chasing broadcasting to remind me of my old days. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining me. You have a wonderful day, and I will probably see you back here next Sunday, back on YouTube, or I'll see you out walking around the Villages. Bye.